save me some.
Hello, my friends. How you doing today? I am up after not sleeping all damn night, and it's To Be Tuesday. But I decided to do let's call this the pregame show before To Be Tuesday. Before we get to my advice or my recommendations for something for you to watch on Tubi, I think I need to talk to this about something. Now listen, let me tell you something right now. This channel has never had a niche. Okay, first of all, warning right away to my people, or to the non-subscribers that watch this channel and think they're gonna get the TikTok version where you can listen, because the way the world is nowadays, some people's listen. I got grandchildren, okay, and I worked with the preschool children and everything like that, and they always got the phones in their hands, okay, and they always gotta be diddling around with the phones and stuff like that. Seems to be the phones are the babysitters of the world nowadays, where TV was the babysitters of the world when I was a kid, and it just seems like when you get to this certain generation, okay, they can't handle a half an hour long video. They can't handle an hour long video. And I want you to think about this. Listen, for my middle class crowd, or my older class crowd, or whatever. Back in the day when we would watch regular TV, okay, a sitcom was about half an hour long, and a talk show was about an hour long. So if I classify myself as a talk show, you should be able to sit here and watch me for about an hour, and then we got commercials in between. So it's not even really an hour. You got commercials, but you can do it easily. I prefer for you to watch the commercials. That helps me out monetarily. But if you don't, then you can kind of go by it. We didn't have that choice back in the day. We had to watch the commercials. So if I was watching like a Sally Jesse Raphael or a Ricky Lake or whatever the hell it was that I was enjoying, so I like that kind of stuff. Even Jerry Springer, okay, Jerry Springer and stuff like that. It was an hour long, and you sat there for an hour and you watched it, and you didn't have the opportunity to text message back or whatever, leave comments below and saying, you know, this is a long video and I couldn't deal with an hour. It took you forever to get right to the point. So if you're one of those people that has to keep scrolling through TikTok because you can only handle 2 minutes because your frontal lobe has been damaged from years and years of staring into your phone at night under the covers because mommy and daddy told you not to be on the phone. You had to go to school the next day and you were hiding under the covers, and then you're complaining that you're going blind or you can't see right. If you're one of those people, this is not going to be for you. Now, let me make this very clear. I am not a political person. Okay, this channel has no real niche. This is why I don't have like 5 billion viewers right now, and I've been doing this for 8 years, almost 9 years. Almost 9 years I haven't been doing this. It's because I don't have a niche, okay? I collect physical media. I collect music. Listen, I'm a huge music fan. I'm a huge movie fan. I collect toys and nostalgia. I'm trying to get a piece of my childhood back that I had missing. But I will tell you that after this last week, it's been a week, I have had what they call IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I have been leaving piles of dump, okay, in the toilet day after day for the last like week or so because of some of the stuff that I've been going through, and I've been going through it because of my family. And I use this platform as like a diary. Okay, so my plan is that nobody lives forever, and one of these days I'm gonna leave this planet, and I'm gonna leave behind a legacy. I'm gonna leave behind my character. They're gonna remember who I was, what I did in my life, and what I'm leaving behind, which is what I'm leaving behind will be in this channel. And long after I'm gone, people will still be discovering this channel and still be looking at this channel. So I leave this stuff behind for my children. Because sometimes I don't see my children. Sometimes they don't talk to me. Sometimes they do talk to me. Sometimes I don't want to tell them what's on my mind. So I'm like, one of these days they're going to go back and they're going to look at this stuff and they're going to either realize how ridiculous things were, or they're going to learn something from my mistakes. Listen, everything I say or everything that comes out, it's out of love. It's out of love for people, okay? When I was a preschool teacher, I did it out of love for the families. I did it out of love for the children. And a lot of what's going on in the world right now is really kind of messing me up, and I'll tell them that right to their face. I'll be like, listen, I don't want to hear about it no more. I don't want to hear about it, but I listen, I want to talk to you about it because I love comments. Listen, even though I just said that, you know, back in the day you couldn't comment, but you could comment here. And to me, because I'm a lonely guy, I got no friends, you know, I got no physical friends that I could call up on a Saturday and I say, hey, listen, I'm having a rough week, you know, I need to talk to somebody. I'm struggling with something. Even those 800 numbers, if you want to call a helpline or whatever it is, listen, I get put on hold. I can't get through to somebody. Listen, I am a complex person. And if you're watching this channel, listen, everybody's messed up. If you sit here in front of me and tell me that you are a perfect person and you don't hurt and you don't get sad and you don't sin and you don't get angry at people, or you don't get if you don't have something going on, you're like, everybody's got something going on. You're like, everybody got some kind of sickness or confusion or sadness, because that's what life is all about here. There's always something going on, okay? And I got to tell you that. So I got a family member. I'm not gonna say what it is. I got a family member that is constantly coming at me with the news. Okay, this is okay. So Dad, I'm gonna say Dad because they come at me and they call me Dad because it's one of my family members that call me Dad. Okay, and we're gonna talk about the Bad Bunny and the Kid Rock verses. Okay, we're gonna talk about the Epstein Files. Okay, we're gonna talk about all these things that I don't want to talk about because I don't care. Okay, it's listen. I feel like in this world, there's things that cause arguments. Okay, it's politics and religion. Okay, politics and religion. So let me make this very clear. Am I religious? I am not a religious person, okay? I have a belief. I have a relationship with a higher being. I call him God or Jesus. You can call it whatever you want. If you're worshiping a rock or you're talking to a Buddha or whoever you're talking to, as long as you're thinking of something or talking to something that's bigger than you, and when you're feeling sad, it makes you feel good or whatever, I feel like you're speaking to the right person, okay, or right thing, okay? And eventually, when we go, hopefully we all go into the same place. We all got the same goal, that we don't know what's going to happen to us when we leave this planet. And when we leave, we're hoping that there's going to be something. There's going to be something better than whatever the hell it is, the world that we're going through right now. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the way I feel right now, is I have 4 children, okay? And sometimes when my children were little and we were out someplace or whatever, or let's say even if we were in the house or whatever it is, usually they were in a car seat. We go visit somebody and you carry your child in the car seat, but you didn't bring any of their toys. And this is the way I feel like the world is right now. This is the way I feel like the world is right now, and I have to express it because I want my children to watch this and understand how Dad feels about the world today and how I don't want to be dragged into all of these things. But I'm gonna tell you how I feel about these things because I don't think I'm off base on this stuff. But as a child, I remember bringing my kids into these places, whatever. We whether go visit my family or whatever. We go to movies. Take your baby to the movies, and you got the car seat. You put the car seat down in front of you or whatever. I took my kids to the movies, even when they were babies. Went to go see E.T. when E.T. was remade. And when they get a little fussy, you got nothing. What would you hand them? What did you hand them? You shook your keys a little bit, and you handed them your keys. And your kids be like, oh. I feel like that's what the world is doing right now. I feel like every time something bad is happening, they dangling their keys in front of them, shaking the keys, so like, oh, like we're like, the world's all messed up. I can't deal with it. What is this going on? And that's going on, and all of a sudden the world goes like this, shh, and you're like, oh, oh. Ooh, and you're grabbing at the closest thing to get your mind off of what the bad thing is. So if the kid's crying because something bad's going on, or maybe it messed itself, or maybe it's hungry or whatever, and you dangle the keys, it deflects it takes the mind off of what the bad thing really is, and now all of a sudden your mind is focused on, ooh, look at the shiny dangling things that are dangling in front of my head, making jingling noises and everything. That's what I feel like this world is going on. So I'm gonna talk a little. This is not a political talk, okay? Because I don't tell you guys what my political beliefs are. I'm not going to in this little rant about my children and rant about what is going on in the world today, okay? But I will tell you that as a big fan of music, okay, a guy that's 50 years off. So I'm 50. My alarm went off because I wanted to make this video and I didn't want to oversleep. A guy that's just listen. I'm a fresh just turned 50. Okay, but my entire life's been music. My entire life has been music and movies. They were my escape. Okay, and I talked about this in one of my videos. The therapist that I've been seeing for years, I saw therapists for years, and every single therapist I ever saw agreed with me that it was good to watch movies because movies are an escape from reality. Movies take you back to a better place, a better time, or whatever it is. And a person who watches the same movie over and over and over again is looking for comfort. Okay, they're looking for like that piece of like happiness that they had when they saw that movie. So if you have a favorite movie that you find, if you find yourself constantly going back like the same movie over and over and over, no matter how much you look through your walls of physical media that you have and you collect or whatever, and you're like you because this happens to me all the time. I'll go for hours. I'll be staring at these walls. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walls of physical media here in a closet full, okay? And I will stare at these walls for hours, and then I'll grab Can't Buy Me Love, or I'll grab Silver Bullet, or I'll grab Better Off Dead. I always end up grabbing the same exact titles, and for the longest time I was like, why is this thing? Why is it that I'm standing? And I'll stand in front of these walls for like an hour, if not longer, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I know what I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna take the same thing because right now I'm feeling a little down. I'm feeling a little confused. I'm in my room again. I'm alone. My wife's in the other room watching Will and Grace or whatever it is. I don't want to be in there. My kids got issues going on in their lives, and I don't want to deal with all this stuff. And as a father, I'm hurting for them, or I'm mentally not doing too good right now because of the crap that people put me through in my life, and I'm not doing well, and I don't want to deal with that either. So now I want to escape with a movie. So what I'm gonna do is I'll put on a movie of a time that made me happier. Maybe when I was 12 and I was alone in that movie theater, or I was 16 and I went to go to this movies with my friends or whatever it was, and it was like the Lost Boys, like one of the best movies I ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to that. Okay, so it's good. Movies, listen, this is why I say it's important to collect physical media, because if that stuff, I gotta tell you right now, it's almost like taking me off my medication. If one day the streaming channels decide, okay, no more Can't Buy Me Love, no more Lost Boys, no more Silver Bullet, no more Better Off Dead, we're taking those all away from you, Real Genius and movies like that, okay, Uncle Buck and stuff. If they say they want to take them away, it's like taking my medication away. You can't listen. If you listen, I am a movie addict. Okay, if you can't take an addict's drug of choice away from them, they can't function properly. It's not good for their heads mentally. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about prescribed medication. Doctor puts you on prescribed medication. They can't pull you off cold turkey. You'll have drug withdrawals. You'll have seizures. You'll have problems. You'll have diarrhea. It'll mess you up. Okay, so. That's why I worry about you guys. That's why I made this channel. Is like, let's talk about physical media. Let's talk about how important things are. But let's talk about what's going on. I'm gonna talk because I know I got the guys on here already. They're like, you haven't got to the point yet, my friend. And listen, we're already. What's going on here? This is not a TikTok friendly video, okay? My attention span only goes 5 minutes, and you're well over 5 minutes now, and you haven't even got to what the point that you're trying to make. And you said a lot of good things and a lot of things that make sense, but listen, I'm very busy. I'm trying. I gotta see if there's a guy that's falling off a bike right now. I gotta keep scrolling. Or somebody singing or something. Or what other kind of crazy news I can find so I can go talk to somebody and drive somebody crazy. That's what goes on. Is these people that I love, they watch TikToks and they get a 2-minute snippet of something stupid, and then they come at me when I'm like in my room watching my comfort show, and they're like all up in my face and telling me all this crazy stuff that I don't care about. Okay, I don't want to see it no more. Listen, they go my keys, and then you worry about whatever stupid stuff that you want to worry about. So let's talk. So I have to go before I talk about the Bad Bunny and the Kid Rock. Okay. I got to talk about the Grammys, okay? I got to talk about listen, I grew up on MTV Movie Awards, not Movie Music Awards. Movie Awards. Listen, both of them, okay? And I'm going to tell you something right now. Since I have not watched the Grammys in a long time, okay? A long time I have not watched the Grammys because I didn't care. Last year or the year before, whatever, I put it on, and it was the stuff that my kids watch or whatever, or listen to, the kids listen to it, and I'm like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't care. I remember as a kid, you looked forward to these award shows so you could root on. You could root. You get together with your family, and it was almost like a game you played. You got together with your family. You might get together with your girlfriends or friends, and you got a whole family full of people, and and we would gather together almost like a WrestleMania or any kind of big event where you'd invite your family over, and you sit in front of the TV, and it's like they would call out the 4 or 5 nominees for whatever was going to win whatever, and you're like, oh, it's going to be that one. So I'm going to be honest with you. After all this Grammy crap, I've been on YouTube lately. You can go on YouTube now, and you can watch most of the MTV Music Awards, and I watched the one with Michael Jackson opening last night, and then it was Michael Jackson Scream with Janet Jackson. Like he was up for like almost every award, but then TLC was up for Waterfalls, and Michael Jackson won his awards, but TLC won their awards too. And I was like, good for TLC. That Waterfall song was great. I'm like, and they're going up there, and they're still all alive. They're all healthy. It brought me back. Well, I got a little nostalgic last night. I was like, wow. I was like, this is what an award show should be about. And when they went up there and they got their awards, they get up there, they thank God, they talk, they give you a list of all these people that they think they're mom and dad. They give you a list of all these people that you don't know. You know, I like to thank my producers, my writers, and the person that the wardrobe people and the people that created the video, and that's what and then they took their little spaceman and they got off the stage, and then everything was good. It was peaceful. It was happy. We had that one guy from I think it was Rage Against the Machine that decided he wanted to protest against something because he didn't win the award or whatever, and climbed the friggin'. But that was entertainment. Okay, he climbed one of the decorations, and he stood up there, and the security had to come get him. He got arrested or whatever. That was entertainment. Okay, but the thing is, he didn't hurt nobody. The only person he probably could have hurt is himself by climbing up that big thing. And we were at the edge of our seat, like, is this guy gonna fall off this thing or not? That's where we were at. But nobody was hurting nobody. Nobody was saying things about each other. There was like no like crazy political background or it was music. That's what a music award should be about. That's what the Grammys should be about. So I put on this. Now I'm gonna tell you why I watched the Grammys. I watched the Grammys because of this young lady. This young lady right here who did not win one damn Grammy. And you know what? I don't understand. You know, this is Sabrina Carpenter, okay? I also was watching for Taylor Swift, but she got in late on the running, okay? So I can understand why her album might not be up for awards, but I was there for this young lady. Now I will tell you right now, I'm holding two of her albums right now. I was really gonna pull. I was gonna pull them out. I mean, like really pull them. Like I got. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me just grab something right here. Just out of just a grab. Look, yeah, I got one right here. I got one. I got this album in like 10, 12 different variants. You know what I mean? And this one right here, I got even more. You know, and what I was there for the Grammys was to watch this young lady perform her opening act and watch her win her awards, her well-deserved awards, because everybody loves her videos. Well, everybody I know loves her videos, and everybody I know are buying these albums. Okay, if you walk down the aisle at Target or Walmart, you're gonna see these albums. Okay, that's what you're gonna see walking down the aisle at Target or Walmart or even a Newberry Comics, and they're hot. Okay, they sell. They're flying off the shelf, whether it's in their CD form, record form, and she's on the radio all the time. Okay, that man child is on the radio all the time. But even before that, the Espresso song and it all they go on the radio all the time. So I'm expecting for her to win at least one award. Well, just one. Now she gets up there, she performs. Personally, my opinion, maybe just because I'm a super fan, I thought it was the best performance of the night. But I'm like, she got to win something. She got to win something. And she won nothing. She won absolutely nothing. But who walks away with all stuff? The Bad Bunny. And I'm watching the whole thing, and I'm like, now I DJ on the side, okay? Before I broke my ribs, okay, and I get gigs here and there, and I would DJ. And if I DJ'd a party for, like, let's say Spanish people or whatever, they would ask for Bad Bunny, okay? And I have a whole bunch of Bad Bunny stuff downloaded onto my hard drive to play Bad Bunny for the people. But I will tell you, when I have to DJ a crowd that is specifically non-English speaking or prefers to listen to that type of music, I feel a little uncomfortable. And I'm going to tell you why I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable because I know grandma's there, I know kids are there, and I don't speak that language. Okay, I'm sorry. I speak English. That's all I speak. I didn't take any languages in school. Okay, they didn't force me to take Spanish. So I'm Portuguese by nationality, but I've never visited the land. I've never been to the land. You know, is it even a land? Island? I've never been to any Portuguese islands. I don't speak Portuguese. All I speak is English. Okay, so when I DJ something and they request songs that are non-English, I don't know what they're saying, and I don't know if that's something that grandma's feeling uncomfortable. I'm a type of person that I try to look at the room and I try to work the room. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm out, if I'm there and there's a bunch of people that look like they were born, they loved music in the '80s or movies in the '80s, I'm gonna play '80s music. If they look like a younger crowd, I'm gonna play the newest stuff. You know what I mean? They look like people that are like my age, I'm gonna give them a little combination of everything. You know what I mean? And but when it comes to like people that are strictly they want Spanish music or they want is Bad Bunny Spanish or is that was he Puerto Rican? I think that might be the same thing. Probably the same thing. I don't even know. But let's say this is what they request because that's my job is to play their music. I play the music, but I don't feel comfortable. It makes me feel uncomfortable because I don't know what these people. This guy could be saying all kinds of disgusting, dirty, sexual things in front of grandma or in front of the children. I don't even know, but people are dancing, having a good time. Like, okay, I'll put the next one on, put the next one on. The way the equipment is nowadays is got an automatic mixer, so you could mix anything. You don't even have to know what the hell you're playing anymore. It's simple than back in the day when I used to take a record out of the crate, put the record on and mix it into the other record to go into the other record. If it's that nowadays, I wouldn't be able to do the job because I don't know what I'm playing half the time. So when I saw the Bad Bunny go up there and win all these awards, or go for best whatever, best this, and a few things went through my mind. Number one, I'm like, I've never heard like the Bad Bunny played on the radio. Okay, so when I'm looking for a Sabrina Carpenter, you know, what I mean, to win an award, you know, Sabrina Carpenter to win an award, and like I said, I can keep going. I got literally like 50, 60, the same album. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that I know I'm doing that. I know her website is sold out. I know that when I walk into my Target or Walmart, the albums are disappearing. They're not. I go there one week, they're not there the next week. They're selling. I go to Target or Walmart. I haven't seen one Bad Bunny album. I don't hear Bad Bunny on the radio. I don't know who's voting for the Bad Bunny. So as I'm watching the Grammys and I see this girl clapping away and everything, and then you got other people that go up there and they say their political stuff and everything, and obviously not very well thought out. Okay, I'm not gonna mention any names because I personally like this person's music, you know. But then when they go up there and they say something that totally backfires on them, and the next thing you know, they're the world's most hated people because they say something that just accept your award, be humble, be gracious. Thank whoever you need to thank that helps you put that together. Thank your brother, thank your mother, thank your sisters, thank God, thank whoever you need to thank. Take your award and then walk off the stage. Listen, there were people that were mad at Jelly Roll for thanking God. He went up there and he was like, I want to thank Jesus, number one, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, he said it. He's got this. I can't believe he said it. You know, he was, and it's like, when you have your moment up there, you can do whatever. If they want to take their moment to go up there and talk about politics, then you took a chance. You took a chance with that moment, just like Jelly Roll took a chance with his moment. So the backlash of these things is like ridiculous. I mean, it's like I said, back in the day when we watched the MTV Awards, they went up there, they took their. I watched TLC win like 3 or 4 awards last night. And they went up there, don't go play chasing waterfalls. And I'll tell you another thing right now. Songs back then had stories. They had meanings. I mean, that Waterfall song is all about like different situations that you might have gotten yourself into as a teenager or as a young adult or whatever. And don't do that. Okay, don't go do that because you might end up with a disease, or you might end up dying, or you might end up. They had stories. I mean, the Michael Jackson songs had stories. I mean, like everything had a story. And nowadays, I'll tell you right now, the music nowadays I listen to. I'm not trying to be like ruin your life, but what's the story behind some of this stuff? My son will come in here and he'll be like, I feel like he's chanting to me. I feel like you ever see the Burbs when they're like, you're chanting, someone's always listening to me, devil is good, devil is my friend, you're chanting, you're idle chanting or whatever. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're saying. I said, do you even know what the hell you're saying? So let's get into this. So Sabrina Carpenter didn't win nothing. But she went there, she showed up, she clapped for people, and now because of what one person said, the whole meme, she's turned into part of the meme where she's clapping because you're just clapping. You know, she's like yes, you know what I mean? It's like out of confusion or just love or just like support or just or maybe she did believe in whatever she was clapping for. I don't know, and I don't care. I just know that her songs were good. I know that her music's good. I know I enjoy her music, and that's why I was watching the Grammys. And I also know that the Grammys are also pushing the halftime show. Okay, they wanted whoever they were gonna have perform on the halftime show best be winning some kind of award, because then it kind of makes it look a little stupid. Now, I want you guys to also think about the halftime shows. Now, I am not that's another thing. I am not a sports guy. I have never been a sports guy. Wonder why? Because my father was not a sports guy. Okay, I think the way it works is that if your parents were into something, you know, you might have been. If you participated in something in high school or middle school or elementary school, if you played baseball, football, whatever it is, then you understand the game, and you watched it with your father and your mother, or whatever, or your grandmother. My grandmother was big into Red Sox baseball, but I never really watched it with her. I might have a little heart attack on this thing. Wow, my heart's racing. Whew. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna slow down a little bit. So I wasn't raised with sports, okay? My father was not a sports guy. I wanted to play football. He said no. He didn't have no time, okay? I wanted to play baseball. He said no. He didn't have no time. My brother was born. He had time to be the coach for him. Yeah, you know. But I listen, that's another story, and I'm not holding no grudges, but I'm just saying that when I asked to play sports, you know, because I had friends that were playing sports, he didn't have no time for me, okay? So I did not get into sports. So, I didn't care who was playing the Super Bowl, but for years and years and years, I had a family that watched the sports, that watched the football or whatever, and I literally leave the room, and they call me out when the halftime show is coming on. And there was this feud over the Bad Bunny and Turning Point putting on a halftime show with Kid Rock, and my wife's like, well, I'm like, we're watching Kid Rock, and she's like, why are we watching Kid Rock? I'm like, because he's Kid Rock, and she's like, okay, you know, and but I will tell you that, you know, being an open-minded person, my curiosity was also with the Bad Bunny. I wanted to see what the Bad Bunny was going to do for the halftime show. So when Kid Rock came on, you know, my wife's like, oh, there's a countdown clock and everything. She's like, Kid Rock's coming on. We're gonna watch Kid Rock, okay? Let's watch it. You put it. We had to go on YouTube to watch it because it wasn't airing on a regular station. Okay, it was airing on YouTube, and we watched Kid Rock. Now, I will tell you that not only was it exciting, I've seen Kid Rock live. Okay, so I've always, as a matter of fact, I called it when Kid Rock's like first heavy rock, because he started out as rap. I don't know if you knew this, but when he started out as rap, and then he went into rock when he did the bow to the bow, the dang a dang, diggy diggy diggy, the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie. He went into rock. I called it. Okay, not only was Kid Rock extremely smart, because at my Strawberries Records and Tapes, yeah, I'm dating myself. I went to Strawberries Records and Tapes. His CD was $6.99. That was extremely cheap, and I believe the reason why Mr. Rock made a CD extremely cheap is because that's how you discover new artists. That's how because you walk into a store and the CD's $12.99, and you be like, don't have a lot of money. Like, I didn't have a lot of money. And you see something for $6.99, you're like, you know what? I think I want to leave. Listen, my friends are all leaving with something. I want to leave with something too. And I think I'm gonna grab the Kid Rock because it's $6.99 as opposed to Oasis that is $12.99. You know what I mean, or something like that. So I left with the Kid Rock's first rock album, and I tell you, I called it. I was like, this guy is gonna be a star. He gonna be a hit. These songs are great. You know, had Photograph on it. Had all these great songs. You know what I mean? It's Photograph, a picture. I saw your picture today. Yeah, whatever. And I'm like, he's gonna be big. I know he's gonna be big. So I remember leaving there. But I'll tell you, I watched that halftime show, and there was a young lady called Gabby Barrett. I had to look her up because I didn't know. Listen, it was a country halftime show. I am not a huge country fan. I like Jelly Roll. Okay, I like Post Malone. Now I would classify him as country, but first when I liked him, he was more of like rappy type stuff. A lot of people are changing. Okay, a lot of people are changing over from rap to country because country seems to be the thing. I mean, it's a lot easier to write a song about your pickup truck and your shotgun, I guess, instead of I don't know whatever's going on in the world today. Listen, but they make it make sense. And some songs are actually really moving. Like when they've got them really thought out, when it's not just about the pickup truck and the hound dog on their front lawn or whatever, and they write like these really like profound lyrics. You know what I mean? Some of them are really really good. So so I'm watching this thing and I'm like, I'm gonna give all these guys a shot. You know, and before I get to the Kid, when I get to see Kid Rock about that, oh, my name is Kid. I'm gonna watch all of these other artists and see what they got going on. And when this Gabby Barrett lady came out, she came out no shoes on, beautiful suit. You know, I'm all dressed up, and the one thing about that halftime show is nobody had like a conversation. It wasn't like no, like they weren't like I didn't feel like they were pushing anything on me or talking about anything, or there was no tension. I didn't feel any tension. I felt like it was just like, okay, they're gonna perform for like so many minutes while they're killing time between the halftime or whatever, and then the game's gonna start, and I'm gonna go back in the bedroom because I care less who's gonna win the Super Bowl. I don't care. Okay, listen, when the anybody from the Super Bowl wins, where I live, when my home team wins, I don't get a check from them. Okay, I don't have the manager from the team coming knocking on my door like, hey, excuse me, we just won. Yes, we won the rings, we won the pennant, we won this, whatever, and I'm here to give you $5,000 for watching. Now, that don't happen, so I don't care. I just don't care. But some people, that's their passion, and if that's your passion, I'm not trying to attack your passion. It's just something that I've never really gotten into. So that ends, okay, and of course the Bad Bunny halftime show is not on YouTube yet, so I gotta wait a little bit. Okay, I gotta wait a little bit to watch it. So I wait till like maybe like midnight or whatever, and then all of a sudden somebody uploads the Bad Bunny show, you know, the whole thing or whatever, and they uploaded the Green Day one. So Green Day one piqued my curiosity too, because I've always been kind of a Green Day fan. I always kind of liked Green Day, you know what I mean? From their first album, the Longview album and everything, and so I watched Green Day, and okay, they did their set, okay, and they're done, and then I watched the Bad Bunny. And he's in like what I would classify as like, what I thought it was originally was a bunch of marijuana plants. Like he was surrounded by marijuana plants and he was serving coconut milk and it was like, and it's like, it was very confusing because I was confused. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I was confused. Not only was I confused because the song was not in English and I think if they were going to do that, they should have at least put subtitles underneath the thing for the people that don't understand the language. Nothing against. Listen, I don't care. I like Spanish music. I do like some Spanish music. Some Spanish music is very calming, very soothing, or whatever. I like that. You know, I like some stuff that I like Richie Valens. Okay, I like La 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 Bamba. You know what I mean? I'm down with some stuff. You know what I mean? I love more Enrique Iglesias and that kind of stuff. Even Ricky Martin, some of that. You know, but what bothered me was they didn't put any subtitles, so I don't even know what he was talking about. He was very passionate about whatever heck he was talking about, but the only people that could understand what he was talking about were the people that understood his language, which I thought was a little bit. If you're trying to present a message or something, or you're trying to like change people's minds about something, or you're trying to preach about something, it may be a good idea that the people that are watching it are like understanding what you're talking about. And I'll tell you right now, this was the first time in my entire life of watching a halftime show where they didn't have like the crowd. Yeah, you remember Aerosmith and Britney Spears, and I think it was In Sync. There was that year, and then there was Prince in the rain. Prince did Purple Rain in the rain when it was downpouring. Madonna did like, I think she did a couple of them. Even Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent and Eminem. Yeah, they would have like a crowd of people run and rush the stage and be like in front of the stage during a halftime show. This one, he surrounded himself in foliage. Giant piles of grass, and I'm watching it like, so I watched it from like a perspective of a viewer. Okay, so the person that put it up on YouTube, they were recording it from their seats, and there were certain parts where when he got into the grass, you could not see the Bad Bunny. I'm like, where's the Bad Bunny? I felt like Elmer Fudd. I'm like, where'd that wascally wabbit? Where did he go? You know, I couldn't find the Bad Bunny. And all of a sudden, he pops up over here. He pops up over there. And then he's on telephone poles, and his butt's being electrocuted and stuff like that. And then he goes by a supermarket that happens to have EBT. And I was like, I thought of my grandmother. I'm like, she had EBT. I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, I'm glad they take EBT. Because I remember as a kid, my grandmother sending me in there with those food stamps and everything. And she'd be like, you go get grandma some milk. And you go get grandma some eggs. And you got to use these, my food stamps, my EBT. And it's EBT. You know what I mean? Nowadays they got cards. But back in the day, they had food stamps. Okay? But I saw that in the window and I thought of my grandmother. I'm like, oh, hey, for some reason he's promoting EBT. Like he wants people to be on EBT, I guess. I don't know. And then he's like buying coconuts and stuff like that, coconut juice or whatever it was that was going on over there. And then somebody was selling jewelry, and But I was in utter confusement. You know, is that a word? Confusement? I was confused. I did not understand what he was saying. I didn't know what he was preaching. I didn't know what he wanted from us. You know what I mean? It's like, and this is the first time. And like I said, I'm not trying to be like, I love music. I'm a music lover. But I like to watch the crowd too, see their reaction, see what they're doing, see how, if they're getting into it. If I'm not getting into it, is something wrong with me? I start questioning myself and my own like, listen, as somebody started dangling some keys in my face, am I being distracted from all the noise of the world that I'm so caught up in the whole, like, people feuding, which I don't even think it was a feud. I don't think it was a feud against Kid Rock and Bad Bunny. I don't think Kid Rock has anything. I don't know. You comment below if Kid Rock has something personal against the Bad Bunny and the Bad Bunny has something personal against the Kid Rock. I don't even know, because I don't get wrapped up in all of that noise. I got enough stuff going on in my head where with the least of my damn worries are me worrying about, whether or not these artists are feuding about stuff. Listen, when I was younger, my biggest worry was Tupac and Biggie. Okay, Tupac and Biggie were my biggest worries, and I'm gonna get ding dings because it posted pictures of my children, grandchildren, and stuff like that. But yeah, that was my biggest worries back in the day. Even before that, it was like the O.J. Simpson trial. You know what I mean? It's like, but then we had the O.J. Simpson trial that everybody was all wrapped up in, and then we had Tupac and Biggie war, and you see how bad that turned out. What I'm trying to say is that if history repeats itself, if these things keep turning out bad, why do we keep, like, why the battle? Why the big battle? And if this young lady right here won a whole bunch, if she's selling thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of albums, I'm sorry, and she's like, people are downloading her and listening to her on Spotify. I'm not a Spotify person, but I'm sure if you look up the Spotify records, I'm pretty sure that this album and her first album is probably on a lot of people's Spotify lists, if not one song, if not the whole album. I don't know that about the Bad Bunny. I don't have anything downloaded that on Spotify from the Bad Bunny, and I don't own a Bad Bunny record or a Bad Bunny CD. I mean, everything that I have downloaded was stuff that I had to pay to download in order to DJ, but it didn't cost a hell of a lot of money, and I only had to do it once. You know what I mean? So it's not like and I'm not listening to it over and over and over again. It's not playing in my car. I'm not bumping it in the vehicle. You know what I mean? It's not one of these things like back in the day where you get in the car and you're like, regulators, mount up, and you're listening to Warren G and Dr. Dre, and you get your car bumping, you're driving up and down the Ave, and you're singing along with the song, rolling out, smoking endo, sipping out gin and juice. I don't see people driving down the street with the Bad Bunny going, hey, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't speak the language. I'm not gonna try to say the language. You guys be like, oh, now you're poking fun. No, I'm not poking fun. I just don't speak the language. I'm sorry. I can't sing along if I don't know the words. So, okay, so let's get that out of the way, kid. That's out of the way. But like I said, this has been a conversation that keeps coming at me. You know what I mean? Dad, why'd you watch Kid Rock? I watched Kid Rock because I like Kid Rock. I watched Kid Rock because I've seen Kid Rock perform twice. Kid Rock is also my era, my time, my type of music. I enjoy Kid Rock. And I'll tell you, that girl, the other guys were great too. I'll tell you right now, every single, I had to take a screenshot of them because I didn't even know who they were. This Brantley Gilbert and Lee Bryce and Gabby Barrett. I didn't know who they were. I was just waiting for the Kid Rock. You know what I mean? But when that Gabby Barrett came out and she sang, I think it was I Hope or Good Ones. It was one of them. She performed I Hope and Good Ones. My wife was singing along. And I gotta tell you, as a husband, that made me feel good. I felt good. I had a warm feeling in my heart. I'm like, first off, I was like, is she upset with me because we changed from the Super Bowl to the Kid Rock? Is she upset with me about this? Did she want to watch the Bad Bunny? And I did ask her. She didn't really care. She didn't really care what we watched. She just wanted to see who was gonna win the game or whatever, because her and her mother were into it. My son was into it, and I just wanted to watch the halftime show. But I'll tell you what, she started singing that lady's song, and she's sitting on the side of me. I'm listening to my wife's beautiful voice on the side of me, and I had this warm feel. I'm like, I did the right thing by going over here, because she wouldn't be able to sing along to the Bad Bunny. And then I know that he brought out brought out Lady Gaga, but was Lady Gaga speaking English, because I don't know. I watched it, and even when she started, she was all like dressed in this, not lady, like you saw Lady Gaga at the Grammys with a wicker basket on her head or whatever. You see Lady Gaga normally when she performs, she's in a giant dress. She a showman. Okay, she like the kiss of female artists nowadays. She dressing crazy and doing crazy things, and she entertaining. Okay, that's not how she was at the Super Bowl show. She was dressed in like this like what would they call it? Like I almost want to say like a La Bamba dress. What would they call those dresses? There, it was like a flowy, like she's gonna do the mamba, like Dirty Dancing. I'm gonna teach you the mamba, so you gotta get the mamba dress on because it flows around. And I was like, but I don't know if it was because my head was so messed up with the Bad Bunny. I'm like, is she even speaking English? And then all of a sudden it was Ricky Martin. Was it Ricky Martin, the other guy that showed up on it? And I'm like, that don't even look like Ricky Martin. He looks a little like Drake. I was like, it took me a little bit to absorb it wasn't Ricky. Comment below. Was it Ricky Martin? I don't even know. Anyway, let me get off of this one to go to the next. Let's get to this conspiracy theory crazy thing that my kids are all wrapped up in, the Epstein Files. Okay. Oh, Dad, they're gonna release the Epstein Files. You would think that it was like they were releasing a new kind of cereal. You know what I mean? It's like, listen to me. Know what I know for a fact? I know if they open the Epstein Files, my name's not on it. Okay? I know I've never been to his island. I know I've never met the man. I know that I don't know what the heck's going on. Okay? I don't know enough to be involved in it. But my family is. My family's like, oh, because TikTok's all about little bits and pieces of things, and they get 2-minute snippets of things, and I literally got a message from my children the other day, and they're like, Dad, do you know that they opened up some of the Epstein files? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I heard about the Epstein files. Epstein's dead. Yes, I know he did something to himself in a jail cell. He no longer with us. So whatever they open, whatever they find, is going to cause issues for a lot of other people, but not Mr. Epstein himself, because what are you going to do? Dig him up and redo what you probably should have did to him to begin with? You know what I mean? It's like, he gone. Okay, so now here, what we're going to do is we're going to find some more evil people that are on these files, you know, and we're gonna, and what are you gonna do with them? I don't know what they're gonna do with them. Time will tell. Whatever these, if these people are on these files and they were doing disgusting, disturbing, nasty things to children, to young ladies, to whatever, they deserve whatever the hell they get. But once again, I don't know what's going on, so I don't get involved. But this thing kind of did hit me in, because one of first I get text messages from one of my daughters like, Dad, you know that they found that I think it's Life Touch, which is the company that used to take pictures of my children when they were when middle school, preschool, my kids didn't go to preschool, but the preschool pictures and the kindergarten pictures and the middle school pictures and the high school pictures were all taken by this company called Life Touch. And my kids were all like, Dad, they found out in the Epstein files that he had all of the pictures of all of us. That hit me a little bit. I had a little bit of a what the hell, because a couple of things. I made a comment. One of my children, I was gonna say, one of my children got upset with me because I was like, so you're telling me that Epstein has a picture of you from like elementary school or middle school, whatever, and those things were like $35 for a package. I couldn't afford them, but Epstein has a picture of you. And I looked at the child. That's not really a child anymore, 20 plus years old. I looked at my grown up adult child, and I was like, well, if they open up those files, maybe I can get that picture of you when I couldn't afford when you were like 12 years old. He's like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's like he was doing things. He had our pictures, and he was a sick man. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I couldn't even afford to buy your pictures when they were offering them. You know what I mean? It was like they would send the packet. I always wondered why they forced you to take a picture of your child knowing that you weren't going to buy the package. You know, like I don't know about you parents. You comment below. If you have children, okay, you had no choice, okay? With these Life Touch companies or whatever company that they use, whatever the schools use, they forced your child to go take a picture. You had to get your kid all dialed up and everything, whether you could afford the pictures or not. And every child that was there that day got their picture taken. And then they would send the packet of pictures home with you, and they would be like, what packet do you want? if you want this real expensive one, it's $120. You want this one, it's $30. You can get two 8x10s for $15. I couldn't afford them. So what I would do is I would send the whole package back. And if I was lucky, I was smart enough to take a photo shot of it and put it on my computer and be like, okay, I can print one out myself. Listen, don't tell no. That's a heck of a life touch, because obviously you guys screwed up to begin with. So yes, that's what I had to do, because I couldn't afford your $100 bundles. I couldn't afford your $50 bundles. You know what I mean? So yes, I did. I took little pictures, regular pictures of my child's picture, and I put it on my computer, and I printed out in the crappiest quality I possibly could, because they wouldn't let you print out a Life Touch picture at like a local store, like a Kmart or a Zayres or Ames or whatever. This was before Walmart. So I'm like, but this Epstein guy's got pictures of my kids, you know. Oh, and my child gets mad at me because I'm like, well, if they open up the files, maybe they'll release all the pictures of you kids, and I can finally print them out and get like 15 copies of you guys when you were like 12 and 10 and 6 and 7 and 8. And the child looked at me and was like, you don't understand that. It was because he was a disgusting human being, and that's why he has the pictures. I'm like, well, some other disgusting human being had to give him the rights to get the pictures. So he's not the only one he's not the only one that performed the crime here. Okay, it's a bigger thing, and other things are gonna come out. But life is too short, people. It's like it takes your focus away from your family. It's like when you hand your child that cell phone or that tablet, or you're trying to, like, listen. The way I live my life is that I have 4 children. My wife worked days, I worked nights. I took care of my children. My children never went to preschool. They did go to regular school, but they never went to preschool. But they had to be on the bus. I had to take them to the bus. I had to pick them up from the bus. If you didn't take them, they didn't get to school. If you didn't pick them up, if you didn't stand there at the bus stop, they wouldn't drop them off. So I had to be there to pick them up, drop them off. But prior to that, I took care of all my children. I stayed home with them. I had like 2 hours sleep. I was working third shift. My wife was working during the day. She was going to school. I sacrificed my life and a lot of things in my life to make sure that they had a better life. So it's like, I think people need to stop focusing so much on the noise. Okay, Jim Brewer, like I've been watching a lot of Jim Brewer lately. He found a he doesn't have religion. He's got the same. I like Jim Brewer because he specifies it the same way I specify it. He doesn't have a religion. He's got a relationship. Okay, he's got a relationship with something that's bigger than him. And when he's sad, that's who he can talk to. When he's upset, that's who he can talk to. His wife encourages him to talk to this person, you know what I mean? And before he does something, because sometimes we fly off the handles. So listen, before I made this video, I talked to somebody. I'm like, should I make this video? Is this gonna mess up my reputation with the people that I care about? Because I'll tell you right now, you like Kiss says, you are my people. Okay, you are my viewers, my subscribers. Listen, without you, I'd be talking to myself in a camera, and I'd be talking to myself. Okay, by you guys hitting like, share, subscribe, and comment and everything, you become like a community. You're like part of the family. Okay, and that makes me feel good. And the last thing I want to do is insult or hurt the feelings of anybody that I care about. So even when it comes to reality, like meaning like, you know, halftime shows and Epstein Files and all this stuff that the people I love are all wrapped up in, I gotta handle it with kid gloves. Like I'm walking on eggshells, because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You know, if something that is going on in this world has hurt you, has damaged you, has mentally broken you down, I get it. Believe me, if anybody gets it, listen, I struggle from CPTSD and anxiety. I have an anxiety attack every single day. I think I'm having a heart attack every single day of my life. Every day of my life. Can you imagine what it feels like every day of your life to have an anxiety attack? I wake up with one. I go to sleep. I woke up the other night screaming. I'm a grown man, you know, in early 50, okay? Grown man. And I woke up literally like 3 nights ago screaming because I had a dream about fighting with my father. Like we were physically fighting, and I didn't know what to do with all of that information. Because what happens is, if you've been through a lot of stuff in your life, sometimes you black it out. I call it blacking it out, or my therapist would say you block it out or black it out or whatever. But then things trigger things whether let's say my son says something, or my daughter says something, or whatever, or I start thinking something about myself. Am I a bad dad? Did I do something wrong? Whatever. And then you go to bed, you got all of this like weight on you. Your mind starts processing crap while you're sleeping, and you like things come up or things come out, and then it's like you don't know how to process it because you have no help. You have nobody to go to. You can't call nobody. You can't. I right away I messaged my mother. I'm like, listen, I want to know if this is true. Did this ever happen to me? Da, 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 da. And I am describing. Listen, the funny thing is I am describing the house. I am describing things that I know exist because some of the things I still own. I still have them. I'm describing the day. I'm describing what happened in the day. I'm describing the argument between me and my. But the thing is, I don't think my mother was there at the time. My mother left us. Okay, she couldn't deal with my father anymore, so she left me and my brother with a man that she believed had bipolar disorder and some kind of psychosis problems. That he would go from like a loving, sweet father in the morning to an abusive father in the afternoon, back to a loving, sweet father at night. It was very confusing to be as a child. But now I can look back at it and be like, he was sick. He had issues. He had problems. Because as a grown man now who struggles with anxiety and struggles with CPTSD, and I have very close family members to me that have bipolar disorder, and I'm dealing with them, I can see now that it was a sickness. And I forgive. That's the one thing you got to do. You got to forgive. This is my saying. I'm getting a little emotional here. I can forgive you. I forgive you. But I don't trust you. And I love you, but I want to love you from afar. Listen, you've hurt me. You've done something to me, and you can't take that back. And I'm gonna love you from afar. You know what I mean? It's like we gotta cut ties, because my trust for you is gone. I don't trust you anymore. You've hurt me way too many times. I mean, there's only so many. Biblically, you're supposed to, somebody slaps you on one cheek, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. I've run out of cheeks. Okay, I've run out of cheeks. So I'm like, it's better for me to just stay away. And I will tell you that, I haven't talked to my father in approximately 18 years, something like that, and he's living a good life. Okay, he's living the dream. Okay, my mother, same thing. She took off. She was able to do things that she could never do when I was part of their life. So in my mind, I'm like, listen, you can say whatever you want to say about me, that maybe I was, you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that, and you guys took off and did whatever you wanted to go do, whether it been for selfish reasons or for safety reasons or whatever it was there, whatever you left me for, you're doing better than me. So good for you. I'm glad it's working out for you. And obviously, I was the problem. Obviously, I was interfering with your happiness. So you pushed me away and you made yourself happy. And now that you're getting older, maybe you want me back in your life, but that doesn't work that way, because you pushed me away. I had a grandfather, same thing. He never wanted nothing to do with me when I was a kid. And then when you hit the age where you start to realize that death is near, all of a sudden, you're getting phone calls like, hey, I want to spend time with you. I want to spend time. Well, dude, you had 60-something years to spend time with me. Why didn't you spend time with me 60-something years ago? No, because you had your girlfriends, you had your friends, you had your drinking, you had your parties, you had all the things that you wanted to go do. But now that they're all gone, now you want me back. I'm a human being. I got feelings and emotions. Okay, you don't just I'm not a toy. Okay, since I collect toys, this is the way it works. I'm not a toy. You don't like play with me for a little bit, put me back in the box, and then like 3 months down the road, you feel like playing with me again, take me back out of the box again and play with me again. It doesn't work that way. I'm a human being. Okay, I need people. Like you're saying that you need people now, but you know what happened? You burnt your bridge. I can't trust you anymore because you hurt me over and over and over again. I'm not talking about just family. I'm talking about people I worked for. I'm talking about people that were. I talk about friends. You know what I mean? A lot of people ask, why don't there was a question that came up the other day. Is like, do you still have friends that you had when you were in high school? No, I don't have friends that I had when I was in high school or middle school or any other stuff. Why don't you have them anymore? Oh, I don't have them anymore because maybe they weren't detrimental. Maybe they weren't good for my life. Okay, maybe they were going in a different direction. Some people grow apart. Some people become drinkers. I'm not a drinker. Some people become druggers. I'm not a drugger. Some people. Sometimes you just grow apart. And the other thing is that I've been with my wife for over 30 years now, over 3 decades. And I got to tell you, I think the biggest reason why we have such a good relationship is because we count on each other. Okay? But when you start throwing like friends, a lot of friends in the mix, and they, let's say they're having a problem with their husband, they want to drag you into that problem. You know, and next thing you know, your wife is hanging around with this bitter woman that is like, oh, I can't stand my husband anymore, and I'm gonna find myself another guy. You're coming with me. You're gonna come with me to the club. You're gonna come with me to the bar. You're gonna come with me. And next thing you know, your wife, who didn't really even intend to do what she did to begin with, is now doing what the other one's doing because she's following the sheep. You know, she follow, and it's the same thing with men. I found that happening with me when I had a friend like separated, whatever. He's like, I want you to go with me to go see this band, to go to this club, you go see this, to go see that. Yeah, I'm going to this club. I'm like, I got a girl. You know, I want to be with her. I don't want to go look. I'm not looking. Listen, you might have a problem in your relationship, and maybe things ain't working out for you, but I don't need that. I'm happy. If you're my friend, then you should know that I am happy and want me to be happy. No, you want me to be at the same level as you because you're miserable. You want me to be miserable. That's not a good friend. So it's time for you. Listen, time for us to part ways. I don't hate you. I got nothing against you. I'm sorry this happened to you. I feel bad. I'm sorry this happened to you. Sorry this happened to her. Whatever the case was, I'm sorry. But it's not happening to me. And because I distanced myself from all of these people, and I kept myself focused on my children and my wife and my life here with them, 30 plus years. I don't know. Matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, I have been to many weddings, and I got to tell you, I can think of maybe one or two family members that I have that are still with their original wives, or the rest of them all divorced, separated. It just didn't work out. And why didn't it work out? It didn't work out probably because one of the two had an issue. You know what I mean? And they had a lot of friends, and they had a lot of people to go to. Maybe their mother was a bad influence. Maybe their father was a bad, whatever the influence was. I didn't have that. So I had no mother and father, I had no friends, I had no influences. And then when my wife, we got together, we had kids, we were so occupied with the kids, her friends disappeared too. They wanted to go partying and this, that, and it. They disappeared too. And now we got each other. In 30 plus years, she comes home every night. I'm literally like a puppy dog at the door waiting for her to come home because I look forward to seeing her. Even after 30 years. I'll tell you right now, when you care about someone, you love somebody, whatever, and you're with somebody for a long time and you have this relationship, every time I look at my wife, I see my wife as she was the first time that I fell in love with her. I'm getting a little mushy on you here. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. But I'm gonna tell you right now, no matter how older she gets or how much she changes or whatever goes on, same thing with me. How much I hope she feels the same way about me. No matter how much I change, whether I gain weight or lose weight or get gray or don't shave or whatever's going on, I still see that person that I said, will you marry me? You know what I mean? That's who I see. The person I see the face of that person that walked down that aisle with me. And I think that's what makes our relationship so strong, is that not only do we not have all these distractions in life, but we have each other. And I still look at her that way, and she maybe still looks at me that way. And I'll get a message every day. I just said, I love you. Yeah, and I do the same thing. I send a message back, I love you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a little text message. It's like, I love you, just so she's aware that, listen, you might be at work right now, and I might be home right now going out of my flipping mind, but somebody's thinking about you. And I do the same thing to my kids. At least every other day, I'll send a message to my kids, group text. Just want to let you guys know I love you. Just want to let you know I care about you, because that's what this world wants. This world wants people to love them. All of these distractions. Listen, I hope that criminals go to jail. I hope that if you did something disgusting, if you're doing something wrong, listen, I hope you get caught. I hope that they give you the proper whatever they need to give you. And I hope that you are sorry, extremely sorry, for whatever the heck it is that you did. This goes for anybody, whether it be regular people to celebrities to whatever. If you did something despicable in your life, number one, I gotta tell you, if you do something despicable in your life, it's tough to live with yourself. If you don't admit it and say, like, yeah, I did that, you know what I mean, and you're carrying that luggage around, I like to call it carrying the dead man around. Imagine you as a younger person, you did something despicable, right? And you pick up that person, which might weigh maybe about 80 pounds, 90 pounds, and you put that person on your shoulder, and you're carrying that person around every single day. That lie, that sin, that messed up thing you did, whatever disgusting, despicable thing you did, you're carrying that stuff around. And some people get tired and they can't carry it around anymore. And some people do bad things so that they're not here no more. And some people get caught with the carrying the dead man. And some people do like I do and throw it all out there and drop the dead man on the ground and walk away and live a life where I'm like, I got nothing to hide. I am an open book. I am transparent. I am honest. Everything I say on this channel is true. I do not lie. I don't have a reason to lie. I have no reason to lie to you people. Wonder why? Because I want you to respect me as much as I respect you. And with that said, my friends, it is Tubi Tuesday. And this is my pre-game show, okay? And I am going to give you some recommendations. I'm gonna shut this thing down. I'm gonna edit it, put it up. It's gonna come up before Tubi Tuesday, and then you guys, if you want, you watch the Tubi Tuesday. Listen to my 7-minute recommendation of the movie that I watched last night that I think you should watch to escape from this crazy world, which has a lot not to do with us. Like some of the stuff that we are worrying about has absolutely nothing. Listen, if you did nothing wrong, good, God bless you. You know, good for you. Okay, I hope you live in a peaceful life. I wake up with anxiety every day, not because I did something wrong, because I did something right. That's the scariest thing, is that I wake up with anxiety because I'm struggling with doing the right things. If I would have continued to do the wrong thing, then I would probably be living better financially. Think about I want you to think about the people that are on this list and the people that we're finding that keep getting arrested for things and everything like that. They're rich people. They're usually people that got a lot of money. They got a lot of money because they did something wrong. They did something illegal. I have anxiety because I turned down those things. I said no to some stuff. I said no. This isn't gonna sit right with me morally. This is not gonna sit right with me mentally. This is not gonna sit right with me physically. I do not need to be part of this mess. I'm leaving. I rebuke you. I'm done. I'm gone. It's it. We're over. And now, because of that, I am battling mentally with what the right thing to do is. Because when you start losing trust in people, it's really tough to gain that trust back. And when you lose trust in people, it's really tough for you to go try to get a job doing something. Because you're like, I've been through this already like 3 or 4 times. I don't want to do it again. It seems like everybody's the same. If everybody's the same, I'm having problems. I can't go do it again because I'm just going to put myself in the same situation, and I'm getting too old to see if I don't know if I want to deal with it anymore. I don't feel safe anymore. I feel safer at home with my movies, watching my Can't Buy Me Love and Real Genius and Better Off Dead and Silver Bullets and Lost Boys and Water Worlds and The Ringer and Life Stinks and Walk Like a Man's and what what I really love is 10 Things I Hate About You. What a great movie, huh? 10 Things I Hate. Empire Records, great. What a great movie. Empire Records, 10 Things I Hate About. Yes, you know, I mean, I put those on. It's all gone. All this noise in my head for an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes. It's all gone. It's all gone. But then once it's done, it all comes back. So yeah, I listen. Everybody's talking about it on YouTube, and I want to stay relevant. Okay, I want my view account to go up. I want 10,000 viewers. I want 10. No, let me correct myself. I already have 10. I have like 20,000 plus viewers. I want 10,000 subscribers. Okay, I want me a nice little plaque on the wall so I can hang. I got to see an empty spot over here on this side of the wall. That's what I want to put. I want to put my silver plaque. And that's another thing. I'm a humble man. I don't need a diamond plaque. I don't need a gold plaque. I just want the plaque to show that for doing this for 9 years, maybe I finally got to somebody. You know, the cool thing is if you get like that one hot video, you get a lot of people that subscribe. And then they start searching your old videos. And I've been putting a lot of work in for a lot of years just because I love doing this. When you got a passion for something, you just keep doing it. You keep doing it with the hope that one day it's going to turn out well. And I got to tell you, one of the last videos I did with talking about the social media and how physical media and how important physical media is as opposed to these streaming services, it caught on and it piqued a lot of interest and it piqued a lot of discussion. And I met a lot of great like-minded people, and that's what I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for some great like-minded people to hit that subscribe button, to be part of the family, be somebody that we could talk to. Because listen, sometimes you're going to struggle, sometimes I'm going to struggle, sometimes we need to have a conversation. You know, it's good. It's all good. It's good stuff. Okay, I don't want nothing from you. I'm not trying to take anything from you. I'm asking you to like something. I'm asking you to subscribe for something. It's all free. You know, I mean, watch all that stuff so that YouTube could try to give me a couple of dollars, because if I hit 10,000 subscribers, I wouldn't have to worry about what I got to do financially anymore. I finally start getting some YouTube money, and that would be great. Okay, because of all the work I do, it would really be nice for me to. Who doesn't want to get up every morning and get paid to do something that they love doing? And out of everything I've ever done in my entire life, I gotta tell you, this is one of the things I love doing the most. I love making these videos. I love interacting with you people. I think you guys are great. And what a bunch of sweethearts. Like, I tell you right now, you got, listen, these guys and gals. What a bunch of sweethearts I have met through this platform. You know, it's beautiful. So, yep, I didn't get political with you. I just talked to you about passions that I have, music, you know, movies, okay, and toys. There was toys in there too. I talked about toys. I talked to you about a couple of coping things and situations in my life, and yeah, we talked about the Epstein Files, because that seems to be the talk of the town. But I think what's gonna happen with the Epstein Files? They're gonna keep releasing a little bit at a time. You know, it's like almost like you're gonna give us little bits and pieces of information to keep us busy. Every time something goes wrong in the world, they're going to give us a little more information to keep us busy. We're never going to see those whole files. Because what's going to happen is, you know, when something starts to go wrong, they give you a little bit, and you're like, whoo. You know, it's like shaking those keys, oh, I don't know why. I don't know why the snow in my area is not melting. Okay, I have no idea why the snow is not melting. You know, like, well, let's not question that. Look at these keys. Look at the magical keys, and let's not try to figure out why the snow is not melting and why the snow is flammable. My wife was laughing her head off, because I'm like, listen, I saw this, that you can actually light the snow on fire, and she's like, you were crazy. You crazy. I'm like, and I took a pile of snow, put a light up against it, and it would not melt. It was igniting, and I was like, and she's like, and we kind of looked at it. It's a thing. Believe me, it's a thing. Very strange, but it's like, dangle those keys. Hey, let's give you another little piece of the file, so keep you busy about wondering why the snow is still here 3 weeks later. You know what I mean? After in the normal, I was around in the 70s, I was around the 80s, I was around in the 90s, 2000s, and like after like 2 or 3 days of the weather being like 35, 40 degrees, you know, normally the snow would melt, but not now. It doesn't melt. Magical snow. This is a crazy world we live in. With that said, my friends, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Listen, there will be a Tubi Tuesday. I got something for you. I'm going to record it right after this. It's going to be back to back. I'm going to look exactly the same. And just remember, I post 7 days a week. You get a short every morning. And then you get big videos whenever something big happens. Tubi Tuesday is every Tuesday, where I recommend a movie for you to watch on Tubi for absolutely free. And then Friday, you get a long, expanded 30-minute long video. Or Saturday, you get a 30 to an hour long video, or whatever. Sorry, my friends that are totally like, listen, you might have been in the fields too long, and the dispensaries have been open a little bit, and the brain cells might not be all there, and you can't wrap your head around half an hour or an hour. But hey, listen, I'm back. I'm an old guy, you know. I'm an older guy, and back in the day, you know, if we watched like Donahue or you know, one of the talk shows, Geraldo or whatever, that was an hour long. You know what I mean? Martin Downey Jr. Maybe I'm aging myself. Martin Downey Jr. That was an hour long, and we loved it. We loved watching it. Even like it's Jerry Springer. Everybody, my kids one day came up to me like, "Hey, you ever hear this guy Jerry Springer?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I did." You know, that was fun. That was fun watching that Jerry, and that was an hour long, and that went right by. You know what I mean? Nobody complained. I don't know. I do a video over like 10 minutes, and everybody's like, "I don't know. It took him like an hour for half an hour, 20 minutes before he even got to the point. I don't know what's going on." Listen, if that's the case, and just look at the time things on the side. Watch my 7-minute long videos. I hope you appreciate them. They're just as good as the long ones. And with that said, my friends, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you, and I will see you later. You should have saved me some.